Hi, Julie here from Copy What I Use for Teenage Anxiety and Revision. And in today's video, I'm going to actually do a live experiment on trying to remember a boring list of words. In this instance, it's actually for chemistry GCSE, and this was a technique I used to help my daughter when she was taking a chemistry GCSE. In this particular instance, it's actually covering the reactive metals from most reactive to least reactive. And I actually carried out this memory hack with my mum as well, who was in her 70s. And over 2 years later, she can still recite that very list. I might be meeting her for coffee later, so what I'll do is an experiment. If I do meet up with her, I'll ask her to recite it for me on video as proof that somebody can, even in their 70s, can use this simple memory technique. Okay, so I've just shown you a list of the 10 most reactive down to least reactive metals. Now here's the actual process that I use then to actually remember this list of words. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video for a moment, because obviously now I need to change it from selfie mode into a mode that I can actually record what I'm going to be recording for you. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay, and back to what I use for revision. And on here you'll see in my kitchen there's a random potato and salt. Now if you look at the top of the list that I showed you earlier, the first two on there are potassium and sodium. So I remember that by remembering pot, potato, potassium, and obviously salt, that's self-explanatory, is sodium. So the most reactive metals so far are potassium, which I remember with a potato, and a sodium, which I remember as salt. Now the next bit I'm going to say is salt, and the reason I've gone salt because that gives me a link into the next one, which is lithium. Now I obviously can't give you an example of anything to do with lithium, so apologies to anybody who's got a list, but it's not meant as a slur in any way, because my daughter once had a list. It's just mainly just remember that the next one in the list of reactivity is lithium, for salt, lithium. Okay, now to move this on a bit, because this is what we call the journey method. Excuse my house, because we're in the middle of renovating at the moment, as you can see. And this will one day be a nice sitting room, but at the moment it's a bit of a junk heap. Anyway, I'm going to go to my garden now for the next one on the list. And the next one on the list, if you're looking at it, it should be calcium. Okay, so I'm now going out to my garden on this lovely rainy day, and you can see now that the next one on my list, I've got some lovely tortoises in hibernation, and what we feed them is calcium. So to remember the calcium bit on the list, I look at the calcium for the tortoise. Next one on the list is magnesium, which I remember with a magazine. So magnesium, magazine. So far on our list, if we recap, we have got potassium, sodium, lithium, calcium, magnesium, and if we turn the magazine around, I conveniently put a sheet of aluminium foil. So now we've got aluminium added to our list. Okay, so now I'm going to go back into my house, because the journey method I find works better for me, because I can remember not only objects, but I can actually remember areas of the house that I've put those objects. I mean, the neighbours probably just thought I was mad, but hey, it's worth it if you remember this little technique. Now I'm going to take you to the next part, which is zinc, which I remember by sink. Now I deliberately haven't done the dishes, because if I had a shiny new sink here with no dishes in, you wouldn't remember it. But you probably always remember, well, Julie from Copy What I Use for Teenage Anxiety doesn't do her dishes early in the morning, because the dishes, or the sink, is full of dishes. So that's the next one on our list, is zinc. So let's just do a recap. We've done potassium and sodium, then we did calcium, magnesium and aluminium. Now we've got zinc, and then next to the zinc is an iron. And iron is conveniently the next one on our list of reactive metals. Next we go to the window, and the first thing I see is a copper coin that I was a little bit annoyed about this morning, if I'm honest, because one of my teenage daughters has obviously been fobbed off with a foreign coin. So she thinks she's actually got a £2 coin, but in fact I don't even know what it is, 500, don't know, maybe one of you will know what it is, but certainly isn't a British coin. Okay, so we're looking out the window and now we've got to use a bit of visualization for this one, because obviously I can't, when I tell you what the example is, you'll realise I can't use a live example for this. But basically, I always remember the next one on the list, copper, as a policeman. And this copper policeman is chasing a robber who's got a swag bag, and in the swag bag, there's some silver coming out of it and some gold that he's just actually stolen from one of the neighbours' properties. So there we bring in then copper, silver and gold. Actually, we do have an actual police station opposite. I don't know whether there's any police cars for us to remember it by. I don't think there are. No, there's none out there today. So we'll have to go with the visual one, which is a policeman chasing a robber with a swag bag of silver and gold. So if we piece all the list together now, we have, let's start from the beginning, potassium, sodium, lithium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, copper, silver and gold. Test it out now, see how many you can remember. And let me know how you get on with this simple revision technique. Because I find it, obviously you can make your own words. What I'll do, I'll pop a blog on later and I'll put some other keywords I can think of that you can remember these different words on the list, because there might be other ones. Like originally I learned potassium as a pot. I put a pot on the word. So it's whatever you remember it by. Okay. Now I've come across lots of revision techniques over the past few years, and this particular type of method, i.e. the journey method, I learnt of an 8-time world champion, and I've always adapted it then to my own revision. But I was really excited then to come across another person who obviously shares my passion for making revision more fun, which is Dr. Chan. Because what I noticed was, if I can show you it there, Dr. Chan has got a GCSE total recall system. Now don't be put off with a boring cover. Personally, I think he could have done a nicer cover, but it's the contents inside that count. And there's similar sort of methods to what I've actually demonstrated to you this morning. He does it slightly differently to me, but the principle is the same. Like for example, you've got a page, if I can show you, I don't know if you can see that there. It's not very light here. Let's go over there. All right, so we've got there King's, forgive me, I haven't got my glass on, Kim's 20 objects game. Okay, and he actually gives you a list of 20 items, random items there. And then at the bottom, see he's got, now you can take a 10-minute break and come back after that. And then obviously later then, he actually will show you a technique on how to use something similar to what I just did to remember that 20 items on this. And that's just one of many pages. Other things he does are like interesting memory facts that he actually puts snippets to. And basically that's just an insight into this book that I came across and was quite excited because it sort of covered the principles of what I have been trying to say to people for over 10 years. Revision for GCSEs or any other exam does not have to be long, drawn out and boring. It can be made a lot more interesting. Now what I'll do, I'll pop my affiliate link for Dr. Chan's book on the end in case anybody else wants to purchase this system that I found. Obviously I am an affiliate for Dr. Chan, so there is a chance if you click on my link that I may get paid a small commission. But obviously if you don't want to, for me to have the commission, then you're obviously welcome to go to the website yourself and order it. But I say if you do want me to receive possibly a small commission for recommending this to you, then just click on my link below and I'd be most grateful. Okay, so that's it for today's video. Look forward to sharing some more with you soon. Bye for now.